Go. Love you all. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, Pascal, amazing to hear your voice, brother, man. Sending blessings to you and the family, lamb.
Yeah. Yeah. You too, man.
Good to hear your voice, bro. Blessings.
You too, Pascal.
Thanks,
Take
Pascal.
care, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Pascal.
Annette, welcome. She's driving, but please jump in whenever. Ian, here's what I would like to honor. And interesting how it's would you ask, like, just share with us, like, what question you had us work with you in?
I keep getting the thought, which is a recent thought, the past week or two. Ian, you'd be an amazing coach.
Mhm.
And that thought keeps coming to me like you'd be an amazing coach.
Mhm.
So I've just been sitting with it, sitting in the void, sitting and not knowing, just like sitting with a blank mind, sitting in that void. And my question was to the people that have done intuitive work, what intuition do you get around that truth? Just for a little bit of clarity. And it was mainly in what direction to take it in.
Mhm.
Because there's like so many doors there that I could, so many life experiences and so many doors that I could go through with it. It's like, which one? Or yeah, it's the inner child for now. And self-love in a child.
Yeah. So that was the breakthrough in a sense. And it's like, oh, now it just gives you something to start to pay attention to of what it could be. You're just starting to roll the carpet out. The red carpet.
Just like when I tap into my heart, there's so much wisdom there. It's like there's so many directions.
Yeah.
Put all in a pot and mix it together and make a cake.
Yes.
Some might like it, some might get poisoned and die, but that's okay, it's a cake. Uh, or when I say poisoned and die, I mean triggered.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Killing people off. Right, guys, I love you, yeah? I love you infinity. I'll speak to you soon, all right?
Bye, Joe.
Stay blessed, beautiful people. I love you.
Thank you.
Love you, Joe.
Bye, Joe.
Peace, peace, peace.
Mhm.
So again, there's always, so in the intuitive work, it's always, oh, what's obvious? Not what's obvious before we asked the question or did the intuitive work. What's obvious now?
What I've already been doing.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, oh,
Reconnecting to my inner child, finding the joy of my inner child. Doing it for myself first,
yes.
which I have been doing so. Because you've got to embody yourself first before you can help others. to embody it myself, which I am doing.
So Ian, I will. You've been conducting this morning. That's obvious. And I love it. Here's what I loved is that when you asked a question, you would give your answer. You were demonstrating what you were requesting. I honor that.
Hmm.
That's all coaches and conductors do is they lead people to where they've been, where they are, where they're going.
Wow. And I can just see the blessing, like, as a child, I suppressed my inner child. I suppressed that innocent childlike energy. But because I suppressed it, it's coming out now, and I can just see, like, the beauty in the suppression because I'm able to achieve it in adulthood. Because childhood is such a small portion of your life, like what, 16 years? But because I suppressed that in adulthood life, which is what, like 70 years, I'm able to express that energy that most people can only express in that first 16 years because they allowed themselves to express it. Wow, what a gift. The gift and the trauma.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you, everyone. I love and appreciate you. I'm gonna shoot off now because I've got an appointment. I was only planning on staying on till 2, because I've got an appointment. But thank you so much.
What? Thank you, Ian.
Man, the joy and the trauma, I can feel it.
Yay. Me too.
Thank you. Much love,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a beautiful
Bye.
day. Bye bye.
Thank you, Ian.
Love you, Chi. Love you, Annette. Bye.
Love you.
What was that? Hmm. That was a demonstration of a conductor. That was an intuitive conductor. Did you notice him just hold his space? Take in the information, see it, and just allow whatever was coming through him to be there. And then it's like, oh, look at that, and look at that. not grabbing onto, not grasping, not latching onto it, but just allowing it to come out and see all the different pieces so that he could start to make sense of the puzzle. Wisdom lies between what is and what could be. That's the power of the intuition. Intuitive is like without trying to find the answer, but allowing an answer. We feel like we need to resolve everything, like complete it and check it off our list, be done with it, and move on. That's not how it works. Because it's just what's the next action? What's the next and next and next and next? So it's tapping into the flow. Flowing, not fixing, flowing. Flowing with what's already there. Gochi.
I was just thinking that restriction is the opposite of intuition, huh? Because it feels like yes, he released some his inner restriction.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he was in the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So he was flowing, and then it's like, oh, look, I got trapped here, right? It's like a river. I got trapped in this current or this eddy or this resistance. Oh, I'm just going to move over here. Well, flowing again. That's when we see it, we can remove that resistance. And that's all he was like, oh, yeah. And then when people brought things up, right, he just seeing how it landed for him. And he was just looking for the golden nuggets to pull out of it.
Mm.
Mona knows about those gold nuggets. Annette knows about those gold nuggets. Mm. I wanted to say to Ian is that the world can see the size of and brilliance of Ian's heart. And now he's beginning to see it too. First time I met Ian, that's what I saw. It's like, man, there's some power here. Massive power for the world to see. The world needs. And he's like he's starting. It's like he's been taking the steps. Very similar to you, Chi, right? It's your voice. It's like the voice. It's Ian's heart. Like there's all aspects of us that are different.
Yes.
That are like our individual strength. Or sorry, the other word is passion. It's our individual passions.
Yeah, well, my blockage was in my voice.
Yeah.
Always afraid of speaking out, making mistakes.
Yep. Because the mistake was.
Yeah, I was taught that you get punished with mistake.
Yeah. The word I had was it's dangerous. The mistake is dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So it's safer to be quiet.
Yeah. It's just until recently, the last couple of years that allow myself to speak. And I believe it come from this daily exercise, little by little, release all that inner doubt,
Mhm.
shame, blame, guilt.
These calls are just a space. It's just a space. It's what you do with your space.
Yeah, I thought from the beginning that it's all about just do it, not being afraid, and see how just take it from there. Just show some vulnerability. That was just a big obstacle too, most of my life,
Mhm.
being afraid of being vulnerable. But it's the collaboration and getting different perspectives, and that helps a lot.
I love intuitive work. I miss it. I miss working it with intentionally with groups. So I thank Ian for bringing that in. It was such a joy. It was like Ian was there before I was this morning. It's like, all right. And the first thing he came in, he's like, I've been in my heart for 20 minutes now. And he's like, this is where I went with it. Here's where I am. Now, how about you, Jess? It's like, oh boy, did I resist it up front. He's like, this is what my heart is saying, speaking, looking at. This is what my heart says. Now, Jess, what does your heart say? And I resisted it at first. I was like, oh, wait, I'm not ready yet, right? It's like, oh, not. And it's like, no. And he said, he heard me, right? It was inside my head. He heard me. He says, I'm just letting my mind go. And I was like, I can too.
Mm.
And all it took was for me to just open my mouth, and then it started to flow.
Mm.
Do you see? I was resisting to open my mouth because my mind was wanting to do it. So the obvious action was to open my mouth. Nothing more than that. Yet I want to make it so much more grand and bigger, but really the obvious next action was just to open my mouth, which meant opening my heart.
Mm. Wow.
And
That was good.
all intuition is to see as much as we can of what's right there in the moment.
Yeah.
So his question, right? It's like I keep getting this thought keeps coming to me. It's not one that I normally had, so it's not a pattern, right? It's not a wounding. It's a could be. And it's like, oh, like I don't know what to do with it. It keeps coming to my awareness. That means it's important. Which means we look at it. And when we can look at it with others, our view gets bigger.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that hits home for me. Wow. Intuition is all our senses become one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taste, feel, hear, feel. Yeah, all the senses.
Yeah. It's more like, I think it's, for me, it appears like they drop away, and then just like what I'm looking for, just what just comes out of it, like what comes to the top.
Mm.
So I've unmuted. You're talking about intuition. Sometimes we have to listen to the little side things, the breath, the words spoken under the breath as well. And just trying to get a feel from you guys because I didn't hear the obviously the majority of the conversation, but I did hear something. And when he talked about that, somebody said that he could be a coach, which is great news. He talked about how taking the parts and putting them together to make cake, patty cake, make a cake. And they said something that either people will like it or they will be poisoned and die. Then he laughed. And then he repeated that about poison and die and laughed again. So with your intuitive senses, what did you read with that? Because it's totally different from the rest of the conversation. So the question becomes, what does that mean?
I took it he was working through the resistance of what his punishment would be.
Took it as a direct application to himself as well.
I didn't have an urge to explore it. In the moment. So
Mm-hmm.
like
I don't
hear.
think. Go ahead. I was going to say, I don't think he means it in the literal sense.
No, it's not.
But somebody who is not in tune with what he's saying can take that quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
And as intuitive readers, we listen to the words, but we also have to listen to how it's presented. And the laughs are something that the body does as an automatic sometimes with the things that we say. And sometimes it's to release tension. Sometimes it's because we say something that actually is part of a reflection of us, and then the laugh is the counterbalance to that.
Wobble, wiggle, giggle. Now, it doesn't mean it might come up in the future. It might not. It might be just information. That's all. That as the journey for that might be a resistance spot somewhere.
Something from a pre-programming.
Yep.
And it came out.
That's
Absolutely.
it. It's just information of the wobble, wiggle, giggle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quick. Because if you literally take it in this sense, it's like, oh, a coach, right? If he was teaching us to bake, which he wasn't, but we're using the metaphor, teaching us to bake, and then he poisoned all his students, right? He would have no more students.
That's right.
Yeah,
And the darn cookie's the murder weapon.
that's right. Or maybe it's the chef, right? We do.
Yeah.
It's the. He said it earlier. Earlier on, he says, "Why?" Like, what was his words? Um, he has resistance to the coaching because, sorry, if he was afraid of making a mistake with a recipe. So if he makes a mistake with a recipe, then he would be punished. And so that was what he was using it in reference of. Is that if he, like, the punishment would be like he poisoned his students. And that is what he was afraid of.
I have to wonder if that is part of a rhyme that he knows of, because the patty cake version that he just gave a short little verse of it, and it is part of a poem. I just don't know. The one that he gave is not the one patty cake, Baker's man. He gave another one that I've heard of before, but he only gave like that one little sentence.
Mhm.
So is that part of other rhymes and stories that he grew up with, as far as, you know, something? So it's just interesting. One doesn't know the whole story. You just get bits and pieces coming through.
Yeah. And that's why intuition's got to be so open.
Mhm.
So you have to be open in your heart, out of your head, just to allow the information that's there, not to grab onto it, not to, unless something hooks you, right? Unless your heart is hooked.
Because the reverse could be too. People say things under their breath that they don't realize they're actually saying, and it actually discloses a lot about them too.
That's right.
And
That's right.
and so one has to be able to decipher, you know, about that. But it's the fact that he had that little rhyme that went ahead of it,
Mhm.
and because we have a little knowledge on Ian, that it's like, okay, this isn't something in the literal sense. And what did that laugh mean? So,
Yep. And like intuition is all about insights. And so we just, we're listening like what insights are being revealed. There was moments I was like, oh man, it's like, man, like he's asked for intuitive help, not coaching help. Difference. There is a difference. There
that
is a
case,
difference.
if he's looking for intuitive help, he'd be best to gather some good intuitive readers and have them do a read on them, see what they get.
That's right. And I saw, like, he was still able to hold his intention even when coaching was coming at him. Just observations, just observing. That's again, like, that's a good conductor. Sorry, good. Good's not the right word with it, but it's like the awareness of a conductor. Lets the symphony play.
Because the notes can change tomorrow.
Oh, exactly. And yet I was sitting and like biting my tongue, right? To just see what was going to show up.
I could hear that, Jesse. I'm sure the
Mhm,
Heinz and she could hear that too.
mhm, mhm. And what it was is like, yeah. And then when he would say, "Ah, that's what I got from it. Ah, that's my insight. Ah, thank you." It's like, okay, whew, glad I didn't derail it.
Yeah, he gave all the answers to himself.
Mhm. That's what we need to learn about intuition, is that it is our answers. Whether like not the event, it's the information that's there. We're just not good at using it. Sorry, we're not skilled. We've moved away from it, from using it. Intuition, that is. Because people convinced us that our rational thinking, logical mind is more powerful. The one bit of information is more powerful than the trillion that we've filtered out. So we'll go, if we think of that, like there's a trillion bits of information that our body is filtering every second. What is it? It filters it down to 10. So 1 trillion, we can only come up with one thought. Isn't that crazy? That's how many filters, automatics that we go through. You can't, and try and tell me that those aren't on automatic default. If I were to say yesterday, so thank you both. You were there, helped me yesterday's whatever. Well, for whatever, like sorry, don't downplay it as a whatever, for whatever, why ever, doesn't matter. But the moment that we intersected again, if it wasn't quite a 180, but I'd call it a 110. Meaning like not like a if it the situation would be complete opposite if it was a 180. So I would say, and and a 90 degree would be straight up. It was like neutral. It was like a 110. So it went even farther towards the positive yesterday. Now, who knows what today brings, but at the end of the day, it's like it doesn't matter because like that's moving. In that, it's like she asked me, and I said, it's better. Today's better. Yesterday was better.
So you had wins then as a result
Yeah,
of having.
yeah, and without in a way you could say without doing anything. But then it's like, no, there's been a lot doing.
Sometimes you can just say, make it up. You do a lot of doing when you make it up. Beauty about making it up is there's no forcing.
Yep, it's just flowing. And sometimes that even just trying to be in that flow can wear down, which is where I think I was. Which then says like, oh, I had to surrender to it.
It's great news, Jesse.
It's
You
just
got into a space in the morning that you were able to carry through for the rest of your day and let it play out.
Mhm. It's like the wobbles, right? It goes up, it goes down. It's just our moods, right? That's all it is. Just our moods, just our reactions, it's those filters. Those damn filters. Right? Like from 1 trillion to 10, like that's how many filters we have each second. 1 trillion down to 10. Then we filter it farther down to one thought. And it's not like we have one thought for 1 second, but more like usually it seems like we can have one thought for, I think they said like 6 seconds. Like that's our attention span.
I think that's why it's good to collaborate. Then you get more than one thought. More than one perspective.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it shifts the 10, which then it shifts the filter. So we see bigger, wider.
Mm.
Yeah, really, I think what we do is we really, we add, we give more, we're allowed to see more of the filter. So the filter gets bigger. Which means it's filtering out less.
Yeah.
Good morning, Queen C.
Good morning, Sindrel.
Good morning, Grand Kings and Queen.
Good morning, Cinderella. So thank you, Jesse. I've arrived at my location. I have to go in now. So I'm going to pop off and scatter. Have a great day. Take care.
You too. Bye, Annette.
Bye, Annette.
Bye.
Bye, Annette.
Today's been a big intuitive session, Cinderella.
What does that mean?
Mm. Well, Ian was here before I was. He'd been in his heart 20 minutes before and asked, really, we all went through, what is our heart? So here.
Mm.
How does your heart, what does your heart want? So my heart wants connection,
Mm.
collaboration, give and receive compassion,
Mm.
safe for expanding into, through, and with other hearts. Expressing the passion.
Mm.
Flowing with the power, the purpose, and the peace. The peace, there we go. So it's the heart wants peace, peaceful passion. So Ian asked, and then says, so what would Cinderella's heart want today?
Like all of that and more. Um, I want peace. Like all of that in experiences. I want to experience it. I don't want to just have it like I want a new pair of shoes and they sit on the shelf. I want to wear them. I want to put them on. I want to dance with peace. I want to dance with compassion. I want to be that collaborative integration with it and with others who, you know, are with that vibe at that level, that dance shallow and deep, like a dolphin. I want to feel the wind of life on my cheeks and in my hair and dive deep into the waters and feel the transition of the coolness of the water and my beingness sliding away from the warmth of the sun with no scarcity concerns, the abundance, because I can come, I can go high into the warmth of the heat and even the smog of the day, experience that and still be at peace, like enjoy it, like appreciate it, have compassion with it, and to experience that song with others, like, did you hear that? Did you see that? Did you feel that? And it's like, yeah, it's like, it's like, okay. And being able to do as we do here, to gather and scatter, like not to have to hold on to anything and experience it. So love, we call it love, that tantalizing feeling that, I mean, it lights you up from the inside of your heart out, but it's because you're open, because you give love, you can receive love and you can experience it. That's what I want. More of that, more of that. And to be at cause, to know, who I am in that, to be at cause, to get effect, to not just want, but to be it and cause it, and to love you. And that when I come before you, it's like I can honor you as King Jesse and King Chi and it's nobody's a subject to anybody. It's like, I see you, you see me. It's cool. It's yay. Celebrate. Celebrate. And feel. And feel the compassion of the feelings that we feel, whatever level of vibration that they're on. And it's life, it's expression, and no one's alone. You're never, ever, ever alone. Ever, ever. And even when you are alone, you're not alone unless you choose that. If you choose to be alone, that's a sacred time of finding out that alone is still not alone, because you get to expanse from within. And when you're with yourself, you're never by yourself. So I'm happy for life today. Like I've never been before. It's a day that I've never seen before. It's one I'll never see again. So this morning I did an intuitive thing. I reached into my nightstand drawer and I had Post-its there. And without really fully coming to attention, I wrote down, okay, what's the best integration of me for my day? And I just put one thing on each Post-it. And not even really looking at what I was writing, but just writing what I was writing. And that's my day today. That's intuitiveness. That's my day today.
Yeah. We worked and demonstrated an intuitive session with Ian as well.
Mm. Annette was referencing something as I came in about you creating space and what was it? What was it? It was something there. Mm.
It was from what we'd worked yesterday, and I was just reporting that something that had been locked up for a week seemed to release a little bit more yesterday. So it was kind of when it was like, oh, like I surrender to it, right? I'm surrender to it, and then it's like, oh, then we see the breakthrough.
Mm.
And that's all. I was just celebrating the breakthrough. Yeah. Yeah, Ian was this morning a wonderful demonstration of a powerful conductor as he unpacked intuitive awareness that he was shared with us, and he's like, I want other people to help me see it, and so we explored that with him this morning. A wonderful session.
Sounds like a great replay for me. We can get to that today.
Yeah, the live session kind of, it just gives the summary of, the recap of what would happen, and then now the other internally, right, there's I've recorded what happened. I just announce that so that I don't know why yet, but either way, doesn't matter.
Thank you, guidance. Thank you.
Someday it'll be, we'll do something with it.
Mm. It's something to have these breakthroughs. So, breakthroughs let so much light in. so much more choice. I had a breakthrough. And when I had the breakthrough, I recognized it as a breakthrough, but that was seen differently, feeling in my spirit differently. But then I had like the tremors after the earthquake. I had a behavioral breakthrough that before I knew it, my behavior had automaticity based on the breakthrough. And then I had the reflection of like, wow, look, you responded differently from your authentic self, which was not the way you used to respond. To me, that was evidence of the breakthrough, that the change occurred for real, not just in knowledge, but for real, like in my DNA, for real. Like I wasn't even in my head about it. It was really a shift. It was evidence of the shift. So how was your breakthrough?
I was thinking it's like yours and not like yours.
That's good. It's yours.
Yeah. And, and like that's the truth of it all, right? It's like yours is yours, mine's mine. Yet, and we can find commonalities if we are looking for them, but not if we're judging them. And don't have to point to anything like why it happened. I can just be in that it happened. Until the next one appears, right? Because there will be another one. There will be another wobble. Hmm. Well, Centrell, thank you for coming in and sharing with us.
Yeah.
She,
Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Sandro.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But if you're always still here, have a wonderful day.
thank you, you too.
Peace and love.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.